And just when you thought it couldn't get any worse, the Wall Street Journal finds the Democratic Party's favorability rating is at its lowest point in 35 years. Just 33% of voters say they approve, and Republicans are trusted more on many key issues. CNN, it is stunned.
Oof. I mean, my God. You know, we mentioned CNN. We had that poll come out a little while ago on their net favorable rating. They were 26 points underwater. You think that's low enough? How about we go even lower? We'll go to this side of the screen. I'm going to walk over here. We go to the Wall Street Journal, minus 30 points. 30 points underwater. Their lowest on record. These polls have records going all the way back since the early 1990s. The Democratic Party is breaking records in the way, Jessica Dean, you don't want to break records.
So what's the Democrats' fix? Well, workout videos, for one. After cringy dancing TikToks didn't work, Democrats are pumping out content of them pumping iron to try to win over voters.
I should be working right now. Instead, I'm pumping iron at the gym.
I should be working right now.
Talk a little bit about this bill they passed.
All right, so let's talk about housing. I grew up in a working class family here in the Hudson Valley.
But the man who once got a thrill up his leg over Obama says Democrats may not be able to stop Trump.
To be honest with you, the country is moving towards Trump. I mean, these polls that come out and show him not doing well, I don't buy that. I think his strength is still greater than the Democratic strength. He is a stronger public figure than the Democratic people. I mean, Obama still has tremendous charisma, but Trump has strength. But they wanted a president who is a strong figure, and he's got it, and he can. You know, it's just there, and half the country buys it.
Interesting place to take a call.
I hope he flushed.
All right, we have to go to Kellyanne Conway first for your take on this poll. Have the Democrats hit rock bottom, or is there farther to fall?
They haven't. I don't think Trump has hit his ceiling, nowhere near it, and I don't think the Democrats have hit the floor because they haven't learned a single thing since last November. I actually think the greatest argument for term limits I've ever seen just happened. Eric Swalwell sweating, swimming, salivating with no shirt on. This is why we need term limits and better gerrymandering. I don't think the Democrats suffer from a messenger problem. They suffer from a message problem. They're bereft of ideas. I think that the Democrats have suffered, Dana, an erosion of trust with the American public, an implosion of their base. And remember all the people who would tell the Republican Party for years, you must move to the center, you must moderate, you must stop the right-wing people, this, that, and the other, you must get rid of your extremes. You know who was telling us that? The Democrats. And they went all the way to the hard left. And the answer, it turns out, was Donald Trump and his policies. This is a guy who's doing peace deals, tax deals, trade deals, like a single man getting the job done. And you know what we women love more than anything? Guys who deliver, who keep their promises, who produce, who do what they say they're going to do. The Democratic Party, to me, Dana, they lost the economic argument a long time ago, and this has become the Republican Party is the party of the worker. Then they kind of lost the argument on education. That poll showed they're only doing better over Republicans on vaccines and health care. Okay. But they really lost the argument on the cultural issues. So Donald Trump does a fabulous job, better than anybody, of capturing that cultural zeitgeist and letting the polls follow him, the people follow him, rather than the other way around, which is typical of politicians. But I can't believe the Democrats are basically still saying to America, a woman does not need a man, and a man can be a woman. And nobody has really changed that in a meaningful, sustained way since last year's debacle. Corporate America they're all getting away from DEI. The academic institutions are coughing up billions of dollars. It's really just the Democratic Party. And I believe that what you're seeing now didn't work for Beto O'Rourke. He was on the cover of Vanity Fair. He said, I was built for this stuff. He's a 3-time loser. He was a congressman who unsuccessfully ran for president, governor, and senator, all from Texas. And he forced us to watch him get a root canal, flip a burger at home, and famously ride a skateboard. He got 0 electoral votes. The shtick doesn't work, and it certainly doesn't work for people, grown-ups who represent us in the Congress and the Senate to be working out when their constituents are working, trying to meet the expenses for bills that that are already coming due.
He even says, I should be working. But Mark Kelly, he had some thoughts. And I don't know if hope is a strategy, but Jessica, take a listen here.
We certainly do have a problem, and it's a messaging problem. And it's important to get out there and talk to people about the issues that they care about. Hopefully in time, the American people will understand that we are out there fighting for them.
I just wasn't sure that was the best closing argument there. Hopefully in time they'll figure it out.
Yeah, listen, there is no way to spin this, and I've been spending several hours trying to figure out what I would do, and I'm just going to own it. It's a very low unfavorability, and it's been low in several polls. And NBC had a very low one. Fox had slightly less low as the Wall Street Journal. But obviously it's an issue, and I was thinking about, when we've seen other record lows, and the Republicans got theirs after Mitt Romney lost in 2012. So in 2013, they were rudderless, out in the wilderness, doing enormous autopsies, didn't know what to do. They got a plan, and then Donald Trump came in and he blew up the plan. So who knows what happens in 2028? I have no idea who the candidate will be on the Democratic side. My expectation is that it'll be one of these very popular blue state governors, but maybe it's a Mark Cuban. We can't know at this point. We obviously have
Cuban.
Cute. We have to wait and see on that. What I do know at this moment is that we're trying to figure it out. I'm not condoning the Eric Swalwell videos, but people are trying to get more social media presence. They're trying to communicate with their constituents. Even someone like Mark Warner, who's obviously on the older end, he makes videos in his car because that's what he's comfortable doing. But at least he's trying to talk to his constituents and explain to them what's going on. And we did get a bit of good news this morning with Roy Cooper announcing that he's going to run for the North Carolina Senate seat. That is exactly who Democrats wanted to do this. He has won statewide 6 times. When Donald Trump is on the ballot, he still wins. And I do think that it is suggestive of a potentially good environment for Democrats, that people like Brian Kemp in Georgia, Sununu in New Hampshire have declined to run for those Senate seats.
Okay.
So that is my silver lining. That is what I came up with.
Let me point out one other thing. President Trump in this poll is significantly more popular now at this point in the term than he was in the first term. So the Democrats who try to tell themselves everything's fine because he's actually declining in polls, with some numbers maybe that's true, but overall he's still much stronger than he was even in the first
Well,
term.
I'm going to rub the poll in Jessica's face in a second, but I got to talk about Swalwell. I'm glad he's lifting, and it looks like he's got a good shot at the pool. But you know who doesn't film themselves at the gym?
Men.
Women film themselves working out, taking gym selfies. That's who does it. The only people that do this are either professional athletes or fitness influencers, especially married men. If you're a married guy and you're posting bench press videos, oh God, is that thirsty? He's such a tryhard, and every real guy knows a tryhard, and he's one. Now, Matthews gets it. And Matthews, to make a terrible metaphor, he is saying Trump is strong because Trump lifts heavy. Trump is trying to lift the big things that no one else will pick up and grab. Trade, Iran, the border, government spending. So Trump is politically jacked. And that's what Swalwell doesn't understand. People respect you for doing things that are hard and lifting things that are heavy. Trump has real strength. Swalwell is trying to look strong, and that's the difference. Trump golfs. He has dad strength, though. You know dad strength? He doesn't look like he's in shape, but when he grabs you, one time my father grabbed me, and I was like, oh my God, this guy's stronger than I am.
Were you 8?
And I was like 18. And so this poll, Jessica, I'm glad, Greg likes to talk about context because you throw these poll numbers out. And this is the first time I was looking forward to doing a segment with polling, because this is all the context you need. The American people think Republicans are doing a better job than Democrats at handling the economy, inflation, illegal immigration, foreign policy, tariffs, and the Ukraine war.
Yep.
Okay, let's continue. There's a 20-point jump in Americans saying the country is headed in the right direction than last summer, when who was president? Joe Biden. The Republicans are viewed more favorably than Democrats by double digits. Americans like ICE more than Democrats. They like Elon Musk more than the Democrats. Americans like RFK Jr. more than the Democrats. And Trump has a 46% approval rating, which is more than Barack Hussein Obama and Joe Biden, their averages.
I'm not going to go through it, but take a look at the Fox News poll, and then you won't feel so hot.
How dare you?
How dare
I raise you the Wall Street Journal poll.
Well, we both are hometown,
Can
so
we
I
get
guess
some
it's
context from our resident?
Oh yeah, give us the context, Greg.
Gutfeld.
I sense some mockery in your tone. But I was going to agree with you, Jessica, that this could just be a cyclical thing. You lose, you rebuild, you win. You lose, you rebuild, you win. But there's something off about this one. This is the first time in my memory that a party is this exposed, that we can actually see not what it didn't do, but what it did do and what we learned about how they did it. Like, we see them naked. We see the party for what it is. So, a little history, Dana?
Yes, please.
I had this feeling when the wall came down, followed by the breakup of the USSR. That was also a duopoly. It was the Cold War, US, USSR. You thought it was going to be there for the rest of your life. Then something happened, the duopoly dissolved. I feel that same way right now. The duopoly is this party system, and I think the Democrats, the party's over. When the wall fell, the human traffic only went in one way. West Germany didn't stream east. You are seeing that with the Democrat Party. There are segments of the party that realize they do not have to be there. The wall has come down. They are leaving. They're realizing that Democrats, like the USSR, was containment based on fear. It's a dictatorship that exists within a republic, a plantation that you thought you couldn't leave. So now you're seeing how the party doesn't work. You have $100 million that was meant for the Palisades fire going to liberal nonprofits, not the victims. You have teachers' unions giving up on reading and writing and instead pushing racial indoctrination on children. Crime is considered acceptable in most inner cities. Illegal gangbangers are protected. The deranged homeless are allowed to walk free. Repeat offenders, recidivists, they get out of jail free. Theft is decriminalized. That is not a republic. That is a lawless dictatorship. That is like the Somali. What is that place called? Somalia?
Somalia? Yeah.
So what was the Berlin moment for me? It was Joe Biden when it all came down. A divided structure was erected to keep us apart, but it was revealed to be no longer functionable. And the exposure of that cover-up is that wall coming down. The Dems, while they're looking for a candidate right now, are really just looking for another wall. And until they see that, they cannot be trusted again. The Biden brain lie changed a lot of people's minds permanently, the same way communism did. When the wall came down, we're not going back there.
You're saying Jessica could come over to West Germany if she wants to.
I think she has to. I would honestly say that if you're a thoughtful Democrat, you have to think about, is this a change that you can't go back to the way it is, because the wokeism has contaminated it so deeply that it doesn't exist anymore.
There's actually, I read about two former Democrats who are now deciding they were in Congress as Democrats, they lost. They now are going to run as independents. So they might not have walked all the way over to West Germany, but they're on their way.
Yeah, well, a lot of communists did this. A lot of socialists did this. You can too, Jessica.
You can too.
I cannot.
All right, coming up,
For
President
reasons.
Trump silencing his critics with his latest move.
Click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You won't get it anywhere else.